The scent of rain-soaked earth and damp moss clings to the hem of my tunic, a constant reminder of my station. I am Ilara, an Omega of the Blackwood Pack, and my world is defined by the scents of others. The sharp, peppery scent of the Beta's authority, the milky, comforting aroma of the Den Mothers, the metallic tang of the warriors returning from a border patrol. My own scent is a whisper, a muted thing of crushed herbs and clean water, easily overlooked. It is the scent of no one important. My wolf, a timid creature I rarely feel, is a silent passenger in my soul, her presence as faint as my own fragrance in the bustling pack house. Tonight, however, the air is different. It thrums with a primal energy that even I can feel, a vibration that travels from the soles of my worn boots up into my chest. The Moon Goddess Ceremony. It happens only when an alpha comes of age and is ready to claim his mate. Tonight, Alpha Daemon will stand before the sacred moonstone, and the fates will reveal his Luna. Hope is a dangerous, fluttering bird in the chests of every unmated female, a foolishness I have never allowed myself to entertain. A Luna must be strong, from a good bloodline, her wolf a proud and powerful extension of her will. I am none of those things. My duty is to serve. I move through the throngs of wolves gathering in the great clearing, my head down, a tray of ceremonial moon ale balanced in my hands. The air is thick with anticipation, a heady perfume of pine from the forest, wood smoke from the bonfires, and the individual scents of hundreds of pack members, all mingling in a symphony of excitement and anxiety. I offer the carved wooden cups to warriors and elders, my movements quiet and practiced. Invisible, that is my protection. A hush falls over the crowd as he appears. Alpha Daemon. He is power made flesh. Even from across the clearing, his scent crashes over me, a tidal wave of raw dominance that makes my knees weak. It is the scent of a winter forest, sharp with pine and the clean cold of the first frost, underscored by the untamed wildness of a storm gathering over a mountaintop. It is the most beautiful and terrifying thing I have ever smelled. Every wolf, male and female, bows their head in submission. I dip mine lower than anyone, hiding my face, my heart hammering against my ribs. He walks to the center of the clearing, his presence silencing the very forest. The pack's elder, a wizened wolf named Lyra, stands beside the giant glowing moonstone. Damon's black hair gleams in the ethereal light. His shoulders are broad, his posture radiating the absolute certainty of a born leader. He is everything an alpha should be. He places his hand upon the stone, and a collective gasp ripples through the pack as it flares with brilliant silver light. The goddess has blessed this night, Lyra's voice rasps, carrying with an unnatural clarity. The bond is here. Seek your other half, Alpha. Damon closes his eyes, inhaling deeply. His head turns, scanning the crowd. I watch from beneath my lashes, my breath caught in my throat. I see the moment his focus shifts. His nostrils flare, his brow furrows. He is a predator, catching a scent he does not understand. The scent of a prey he was not hunting. His gaze sweeps over the assembled she-wolves, all posturing with hopeful grace, their rich scents of summer flowers and warm spices blooming in the air. He passes over them. His eyes keep searching, a look of confusion, then irritation, marring his handsome features. And then his eyes find me. They lock onto my small form at the edge of the crowd. Time stops. The roar of the bonfires, the murmuring of the pack, The thrumming of the earth, it all fades into a distant hum. There is only the invisible thread pulling taut between us. The air is stolen from my lungs. The faint, timid stirrings of my wolf suddenly erupt. She rears up inside me, a creature I did not know existed, howling a single, silent word: mate. My tray slips from my nerveless fingers, clattering to the ground. The moon ale splashes across the packed earth, the sound unnaturally loud in the sudden silence. Every head turns towards me. I am exposed, pinned by the alpha's stare, by the collective gaze of the entire pack. A wave of panic, cold and sharp, washes over me. This cannot be. This is a mistake, a cruel joke by the fates. Damon takes a step towards me, then another. The crowd parts for him like the sea before a god. The scent of him intensifies until it is all I can breathe, a suffocating, intoxicating perfume of pine and frost that overwhelms my senses. My muted scent, the one I have always hidden behind, chooses this moment to unfurl. It blooms in the cold night air, no longer just herbs and water, but something more. Something with a hint of wild moon petal and hidden earth. It is a response, an answer to his call. He stops a mere foot from me. Up close, he is overwhelming. The raw power rolling off him makes the air crackle. His eyes, the color of dark whiskey, burn with a confusing mixture of disbelief and a primal hunger that terrifies and thrills me in equal measure. His wolf is there. I can feel it, staring out from behind his human eyes, recognizing me, claiming me. Mine, a voice growls, not his, but the ancient beast within him. Whispers erupt around us. The Omega? Her? She's wolfless. It's impossible. The goddess would not be so cruel to our alpha. The words are like stones, pelting my already fragile composure. I can see the conflict warring in Damon's face. The instinct of his wolf versus the logic of his mind. The primal need for his mate versus the duty to his pack, which expects a powerful Luna. His jaw clenches. The warmth of the bond, which had begun to curl like a tender shoot in my chest, is abruptly chilled by the frost of his indecision. His second in command, Beta Marcus, steps forward, his voice a low growl of disbelief. Alpha, this cannot be right. Damon's eyes flicker to Marcus, then to the faces of his council, their expressions a mixture of pity for me and deep concern for him. I see the weight of their expectations settle on his shoulders. He is a new alpha. His position is strong but not yet unassailable. A weak mate, an omega with no discernible wolf, would be seen as a flaw in his own judgment, a bad omen for his reign. He turns his gaze back to me, and the last vestiges of the hungry, possessive wolf are gone, replaced by the cold, hard mask of the alpha. The shift is so sudden, so complete. It is like a physical blow. The air between us turns to ice. My heart, which had soared with a terrifying, impossible hope, plummets into a black abyss. There has been a mistake, he says, his voice flat and devoid of emotion. But the bond thrumming between us tells me otherwise. It screams his denial, a lie so profound it feels like a tear in the fabric of the world. I can only stare at him, mute and trembling. My own wolf, so recently and gloriously awakened, whimpers and crawls back into the deepest recesses of my soul, wounded and betrayed. He takes a deep breath, steeling himself. He looks not at me, but over my head, addressing the pack, his voice ringing with an authority that feels like a slap. The goddess tests us. She presents an illusion to ensure our judgment is sound. He is building his case. He is justifying what he is about to do. A sob catches in my throat, but I choke it down. I will not give them my tears. He finally looks down at me, his eyes as cold and unforgiving as a winter sky. I, Alpha Daemon of the Blackwood Pack, he proclaims, his voice booming across the clearing, each word a hammer blow against my soul. Reject you, Ilara, as my mate and my Luna. A sound escapes my lips, a broken, wounded gasp. The bond, that beautiful, nascent connection, does not fade. It shatters. The pain is indescribable, a white-hot agony that rips through my chest, tearing through flesh and bone and spirit. It is as if my very soul is being ripped in two. I collapse to my knees, clutching my chest, the world dissolving into a vortex of pain and shimmering, unshed tears. The collective gasp of the pack is followed by a wave of murmurs, not of sympathy, but of relief. Their alpha has made the right choice. He has chosen them over a flawed mate. He has chosen strength over the fates. Through the haze of my agony, I see him turn his back on me. He does not falter. He does not look back. He walks back to the moonstone, leaving me broken on the ground. The scent of pine and frost begins to recede, leaving behind the suffocating stench of shame and rejection. My world, which for one breathtaking moment had held the promise of everything, has been reduced to nothing but ash and pain. Lyra the Elder approaches me. Her old eyes hold a deep, ancient sorrow. You must leave the territory by sunrise, she says, her voice soft but firm. It is the law. A rejected mate has no place. I am no longer Blackwood. I am nothing. Go now, child. There is nothing for you here. I somehow find the strength to get to my feet, my body screaming in protest. I do not look at anyone. I cannot bear their pity, their scorn, their relief. With my head held high, though my spirit is crushed, I turn away from the fires and the celebration of my own destruction. I walk towards the darkness of the forest, each step taking me further from the only home I have ever known. The pain in my chest is a living thing, a ravenous creature eating me from the inside out. It is the price of a broken bond, a price I will pay for the rest of my short, miserable life. 3 months later, the pain has not subsided. It is a constant physical ache in the center of my chest, a cold hollow where the bond was meant to be. Some days it is a dull throb. Others, it is a sharp, stabbing agony that leaves me breathless. I have learned to live with it, the same way a wolf with a missing leg learns to walk. It is a part of me now. My wolf has not made a sound since that night. I think she may be dead. Perhaps I am too. I am a rogue, a ghost haunting the edges of civilization, scavenging for scraps, sleeping in hollow logs and under rocky overhangs. The lush green of the Blackwood territory has given way to the sparse, unforgiving landscape of the unclaimed lands. Here, survival is a daily battle. Other rogues are a constant threat, their scents a foul mix of desperation and madness. I am weaker than them, and they can smell it. They can smell the brokenness on me. Section G section. My only advantage is that I'm quiet. I move like a shadow, my muted scent making me difficult to track. I have become a proficient hunter of rabbits and squirrels, my senses sharpened by hunger. The girl who served moon ale on a tray is gone, burned away by pain and starvation. In her place is a creature of pure survival, running on little more than spite and the instinct to draw one more breath. One evening, as a bitter wind whips through a narrow, rocky canyon, I hear sounds that make the fine hairs on my arms stand on end. Shouts, the clash of steel, the snarled curses of men. My first instinct is to flee. Trouble is not something I can afford. But then I hear another sound, a cry of pain from a woman, and something inside me, something I thought was long dead, stirs. Curiosity, or perhaps a lingering shred of my former self, compels me to move closer. Peering from behind a cluster of boulders, I see a scene of brutal violence. Three large, brutish rogues, their scents thick with greed and unwashed malice, have cornered a lone figure. It is an old woman, her hair a cascade of pure white, her back pressed against the canyon wall. She holds a walking staff, but it is little protection against the swords they brandish. "Give us the satchel, old witch," one of them growls, his face a mask of ugly determination. "You have no idea what you are meddling with," she replies, her voice surprisingly steady, laced with an authority that seems out of place in this desolate landscape. She is afraid, her scent is sharp with it, but it's layered over a core of pure, unyielding iron. "We'll take our chances." Another sneers, lunging forward. "I should run. This is not my fight. I am weak. I am alone. I am broken. Helping her will likely get me killed." But as I watch the rogue raise his sword, I see her face in the fading light. I see the lines of wisdom and age, the fierce pride in her eyes. She reminds me of Elder Lyra, of the pack I have lost, and I cannot do it. I cannot just watch her die. A desperate, foolish courage floods my veins. With a scream torn from the very depths of my being, I burst from behind the rocks, grabbing a heavy stone from the ground. I hurl it with all my might, striking the lunging rogue in the side of the head. He stumbles, cursing, his attention snapping to me. "What's this? A stray pup come to play?" The leader chuckles, a cruel, humorless sound. His eyes rake over my thin frame, my ragged clothes. He dismisses me as a threat instantly. His mistake. My life of hardship has made me fast. I dart in, snatching the sword from the hand of the rogue I'd stunned, and scramble back. The weapon is heavy and awkward in my grasp, but I hold it before me, a trembling, pathetic line of defense between them and the old woman. "Leave her alone," I pant, my voice shaking but resolute. The leader's amusement fades, replaced by annoyance. "Kill the girl, then we'll deal with the witch." The two conscious rogues advance on me. I am no warrior. I know nothing of sword fighting. I swing the blade wildly, a desperate attempt to keep them at bay. One of them easily parries my clumsy attack and kicks my legs out from under me. I fall hard, the impact jarring my teeth. The leader stands over me, a triumphant sneer on his face. But he does not look at me. He looks past me, at the old woman. He raises his blade, a wicked-looking thing with a strange, dark gleam along its edge. It is coated in something, a poison that smells of decay and dark magic. He is not trying to kill me. He is going for her. Without thinking, without hesitating, I move. Fueled by a final defiant burst of adrenaline, I scramble across the ground, throwing my body in front of the old woman just as the rogue brings his sword down. I expect the agony of steel slicing through my back. Instead, the blow lands on my chest. The blade, aimed in a downward arc, plunges deep into the flesh just below my collarbone. But the pain is not clean. It is a vile, searing cold that floods my veins, a poison that attacks not just my body, but my spirit. It feels like the shattering of the bond, magnified 1,000 times. Black tendrils of shadow seem to crawl from the wound, spreading across my skin. The rogue's eyes widen in shock, not at my action, but at the effect his blade is having. The curse! It's taking her whole. I gasp, the cold reaching my heart, my lungs. My vision begins to tunnel. The last thing I see is the old woman's face, her expression no longer afraid, but filled with a terrible, fierce rage. She raises her staff, and a blinding white light erupts from it, engulfing everything. I awake to the scent of burning sage and something else, something ancient and powerful, like petrified lightning and deep earth. The searing cold is gone, replaced by a strange, humming warmth that emanates from the center of my chest. I lie on a soft pallet of furs in what appears to be a small, dry cave, lit by the gentle glow of phosphorescent moss growing on the walls. The old woman sits beside me, grinding herbs in a stone bowl. Her name, I learn, is Morwen. "You are awake," she says, her voice calm and melodic. She looks at me, her eyes a startling pale blue, like a winter sky. They seem to see right through me. "That was a foolish thing you did. You are alive," I manage, my voice a dry croak. "As are you." "Which is unexpected," she murmurs, her gaze fixed on my chest. I look down. My tunic is cut open, and where the cursed blade entered, there is no wound, only a network of faint, silvery lines, like lightning frozen under my skin. They seem to pulse with a soft, internal light. "What? What did you do?" I ask, touching the spot. It tingles under my fingers, warm and alive. The blade was coated in umbral venom, a curse meant to devour a wolf's spirit and leave the body a mindless husk, she explains, her tone grave. "It is a magic that has not been seen in this age. It should have destroyed you. Why didn't it?" "Because of what you are." She leans forward, her pale eyes intense. The venom did not find an Omega's spirit to consume. It found something else, something dormant, something it could not devour, but instead awakened. She gently places her hand over the silver marks on my chest. A jolt of energy, clean and powerful, flows from her into me. It is not a shock, but a call. And deep within me, for the first time in months, something answers. My wolf. She is not the timid, silent creature I remembered. She rises from her slumber not as a whisper, but as a storm. She is vast, powerful, ancient. Her fur is the color of moonlight, her eyes chips of silver. She is not just a wolf. She is the wolf, a primal force of nature I never knew I possessed. "Mine," she growls in my mind, but this time the word is not about a mate. It is about me, about this power. It is a claim of self. As her power floods my veins, my scent, the one I had thought bloomed and died on the night of my rejection, explodes for me. It is no longer just moon petal and earth. It is the scent of a storm breaking, of lightning striking ancient stone, of wild, untamable magic. It is the scent of power, true power. "You are a child of the first blood," Morwen says, her voice filled with awe. "A direct descendant of the first wolves, born under the eye of the moon goddess herself. Your line was thought to be lost to time. That muted scent was not a weakness, child. It was a shield, hiding your power until you were ready. The curse, mixed with your selfless act, broke the seal." I can only stare at her, my mind reeling. Everything I thought I knew about myself, my weakness, my worthlessness, my flawed nature, was a lie. This power thrumming through me, this magnificent beast now fully awake in my soul, is my birthright. For the next year, the cave in the unclaimed lands becomes my sanctuary and my training ground. Morwen is a harsh but patient teacher. She is a seer, a guardian of the old ways, and she teaches me what I am. I am not just a werewolf. I am a lunar, a wolf with a direct connection of the moon's magic. My power is not just in tooth and claw, but in the ability to draw on the earth's energy, to heal, and to command the very elements. She teaches me to fight, not with a clumsy sword, but with my own body. My speed and strength increase tenfold. I learn to call on the power in my blood, to weave light into a shield, to feel the movement of enemies through the vibrations in the ground. My body, once thin and starved, becomes lean and strong. My spirit, once broken, is forged anew in the fires of my awakening. I am no longer the timid Omega. I am Ilara, the last of the first blood, and I am finally whole on my own. Morwen's sanctuary is not entirely isolated. She is the matriarch of a hidden community of outcasts, healers, and scholars who have rejected the rigid politics of the Great Pacts. It is through them I meet Liam. He is the alpha of the Sunstone Pack, a small but fiercely loyal clan from the neighboring valley, and a sworn ally of Morwen's people. He comes seeking Morwen's counsel, and he finds me. Liam is nothing like Damon. Where Damon is a storm, Liam is the steady warmth of the sun. His scent is of sun-baked earth, honey, and calm strength. His eyes, a warm hazel, look at me with open admiration and respect, not disbelief or disdain. He sees the power in me, and he is not threatened by it. He is drawn to it. Morwen told me of your bravery, he says one day, as we walk the perimeter of the sanctuary. To throw yourself on a cursed blade for a stranger. You have the heart of a true Luna. His words should not mean anything to me. My heart is a scarred, barren landscape where nothing can grow, but his kindness is like a gentle rain, and against my will, a tiny, fragile green shoot begins to push its way through the hardened soil. He treats me as an equal. He asks for my opinions in matters of strategy. He listens to my insights about the land, which my new senses provide in startling detail. He makes me feel valued. He never pushes, never demands. He simply offers his quiet companionship, his steady presence a balm on my wounded soul. He represents a future I never thought possible, one of peace, respect, and gentle affection. A safe harbor after a lifetime in a storm. My mind tells me, this is the logical choice. This is the good choice. My wolf, however, remains silent on the matter. She respects Liam, but she does not call to him. The place in her heart where a mate should be is a frozen, empty void. My time of peace is not destined to last. A shadow is growing in the world. Morwen calls them the Umbra. They are creatures of nightmare, born from the blighted lands to the north, drawn to sources of great power and imbalance. They have begun to encroach on the territories of the settled packs, their presence poisoning the very earth they walk on. They are drawn to two things, Morwen tells me one night, her face grim as she stares into her scrying bowl, which swirls with inky blackness. The untamed magic of your awakening, and the gaping wound of a broken alpha bond. My blood runs cold. Damon, his pack is weakening, she confirms. A rejected bond leaves an alpha unmoored, his power unstable. It creates a vacuum, a darkness that things like the Umbra crave. Blackwood is their primary target. They are on the verge of being overrun. I feel nothing. A cold, hard wall stands where my feelings for Damon and his pack used to be. It is not my concern. It is, she says, her pale eyes meeting mine, because the Umbra will not stop with Blackwood. Once they have consumed its corrupted energy, they will be strong enough to sweep over all the lands, and they will come for you next. She takes a deep breath. There is something else you must know. The reason I was in that canyon was not by chance. I was on my way to Blackwood. I was returning home. I stare at her, confused. Home? My name is Morwen Blackwood, she says softly. Damon is my grandson. The world tilts on its axis. The woman I saved, my mentor, my friend, is his grandmother. The irony is so bitter it tastes like poison. The fates truly have a cruel sense of humor. He believes I died years ago, she continues. I left the pack when his father, my son, became obsessed with bloodline purity and power. I could not stand by and watch his arrogance poison the pack's soul, an arrogance he clearly passed on to his own son. Her eyes are filled with a deep sadness. But now the pack is dying, and you, Ilara, are the only one who can save it. No, I say, the word torn from my throat. I will not go back there. I will not face him. You will not do it for him, she says, her voice firm. You will do it for the innocent people in that pack, for the pups and the elders who will be slaughtered. You will do it because it is right, and because you are no longer the girl who runs from a fight. Her words strike home. She is right. I am not that broken Omega anymore. I am a lunar, and with that power comes responsibility. To stand by and let thousands die because of my personal pain would make me no better than the alpha who broke me. I hate that she is right. The journey to Blackwood is a blur of grim determination. Morwen and I travel with Liam and a contingent of his best warriors. Liam's presence is a steady anchor in the storm of my emotions. He understands my reluctance, but he also understands duty. His support is a silent promise that I am not alone in this. As we cross the border into Blackwood territory, the change is palpable. The air, which I remember as being vibrant and full of life, is now thin and stagnant. The scent of fear is a sour perfume hanging in the trees. The land itself feels sick. We find the main encampment under siege. The Umbra are more horrific than I imagined. They are not solid creatures, but shifting masses of shadow and teeth, their cries the sound of tearing fabric. They move with unnatural speed, their claws dripping the same dark venom that was on the blade that struck me. Blackwood's warriors fight bravely, but they are exhausted and losing ground. Their movements are sluggish, their morale shattered. I see the effects of a leaderless pack, of an alpha, disconnected from his power. And then I see him. Damon is in the thick of the fight, a whirlwind of desperate fury. He fights like a berserker, his movements powerful but lacking his usual grace. There is a recklessness to him, a disregard for his own safety that speaks of a death wish. But it is his scent that strikes me the hardest. The proud, clean aroma of pine and frost is still there, but it is tainted, soured by sleepless nights, by self-loathing, by the constant gnawing pain of our broken bond. It is the scent of suffering. My first instinct is to feel a grim satisfaction. He is getting what he deserves. But my wolf, my proud, magnificent wolf, feels only a pang of sorrow for the other half of her soul. Mate is broken, she murmurs, a soft rumble of pain in my chest. Liam and his warriors charge into the fray, their fresh energy turning the tide of a localized skirmish. But I know it is not enough. The source of the Umbra's power, the Shadow Weaver, is still out there, directing them. Morwen places a hand on my shoulder. It is time, child. I take a deep breath, centering myself. I close my eyes and draw on the power within me. I pull it up from the earth, from the silver light of the moon that hangs unseen in the daytime sky. The silver markings on my chest begin to glow. a light visible even through my leather tunic. My scent, the scent of storm and magic, billows out from me, a clarion call of pure, untainted power. It cuts through the stench of fear and shadow like a blade. The fighting near us falters. Warriors from both sides and the Umbra themselves turn to stare at me, and Damon feels it. In the middle of swinging his sword, he freezes. His head snaps up, his eyes scanning the battlefield, searching. His gaze lands on me, and his world stops. I see it in the sudden stillness of his body, in the way his jaw goes slack. His whiskey-colored eyes widen, filled with a mixture of shock, disbelief, and something else. A desperate, soul-deep longing that mirrors the ache in my own chest. The bond, which has been a source of constant dull pain for me and I now realize for him, flares to life. It is not the gentle warmth of that first night. It is a bonfire, a raging inferno of sensation that threatens to consume us both. He takes a staggering step towards me, his lips forming my name, though no sound comes out. I meet his gaze, and I let him see it all. I let him see the power humming under my skin, the strength in my stance, the cold, hard fury in my eyes. I am not the girl he cast aside. I am his reckoning. Ignoring him, I lift my hands. I weave the light I have gathered into shimmering spears, and with a cry that is both human and wolf, I unleash them upon the Umbra. They strike the shadow creatures, and where they hit, the darkness dissolves with a scream, evaporating like mist in the morning sun. I have their attention now. The tide of shadow beasts turns from the Blackwood warriors and surges towards me, a black wave seeking to extinguish my light. Let them come. I am not afraid. My name is Damon. I am the alpha of the Blackwood pack, and my soul is a wasteland. For the past year, my life has been a waking nightmare. The moment I uttered the words of rejection, a part of me died. My wolf, the proud beast that has been my companion since birth, turned on me. He is a constant, snarling presence in my mind, a relentless voice of accusation. You threw her away. You threw ES away. Coward, fool, sleep offers no respite. My dreams are haunted by her face, by the sound of her heart breaking. I wake up clawing at the empty space beside me in my bed, the phantom scent of moon petal and earth driving me to madness. The bond is not gone. It is a festering wound, a constant drain on my strength, my spirit. I cannot focus. I cannot lead. My pack suffers for my sin, and I am powerless to stop it. The hunts are less successful. The pups are born weaker. A malaise has fallen over my people, and it is my fault. I have tried to find solace in other she-wolves, but their scents are cloying, their touch repulsive. My wolf recoils from them, snarling, "Not mate." I know I deserve this torment. I let pride and the pressure of my counsel dictate the most important decision of my life. I saw her, my other half, the one the goddess made for me, and I saw only an Omega. I saw weakness. I was a blind fool. I broke her to save my reputation, and in doing so, I have damned us all. Now, the Umbra are at our door, and I have led my people to the brink of annihilation. I fight with the desperation of a man who has nothing left to lose, hoping for a clean death to end this misery. And then I feel it. A surge of power so pure and bright it's like the dawn breaking after an endless night. And a scent that is both achingly familiar and terrifyingly new. Moon petal and earth, yes, but now laced with lightning and the raw power of a tempest. My head snaps up and I see her. Ilara. It cannot be. The girl I remember was small, timid, a whisper of a person. This woman is a goddess of war. She stands tall, her eyes blazing with silver light, her body crackling with an energy that makes the very air tremble. She is magnificent. She is beautiful. She is terrible to behold. And she is my mate, my rejected, broken mate, returned as a queen. The dormant bond between us explodes. The pain is excruciating, 1,000 times worse than the dull ache I have grown used to. It is the agony of what I threw away, roaring back to life. My wolf howls in my head, a sound of pure, unadulterated joy and grief. Mine! She has come back! Mine! I watch, stunned, as she single-handedly decimates a wave of Umbra, wielding light like a sword. She is power. She is authority. And when her cold, furious eyes meet mine, I feel the full weight of my transgression crash down upon me. The hope that flares in my chest is instantly extinguished by the icy contempt in her gaze. She has not come back for me. She has come back in spite of me. And I know, with a certainty that chills me to the bone, that I have not only lost my mate, I have created my own destroyer. An uneasy truce settles over the Blackwood camp. The arrival of the Sunstone warriors and the demonstration of Alara's power have driven the Umbra back for now. A war council is called in my alpha tent, and the tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. Ilara stands flanked by my grandmother, Morwen, whose return from the dead is a shock I still haven't processed, and the Sunstone Alpha, Liam. The way he stands so close to her, the way his hand rests on the small of her back in a casual, protective gesture, sends a vicious spike of jealousy through me. My wolf snarls, a low, murderous rumble in my chest. Ours. Tell him she is ours. But I have no right. I forfeited that right when I cast her out. The Umbra are regrouping, Ilara says, her voice cool and commanding. She addresses the assembled warriors, her eyes sweeping over everyone but me. They are led by a shadow weaver. It's an ancient entity that feeds on corrupted energy. It was drawn here by the instability of your pack. The accusation hangs in the air, aimed directly at me. My beta, Marcus, shifts uncomfortably. "And what do you propose we do, rogue?" he challenges, his loyalty to me overriding his sense. Liam steps forward, his expression hardening. "You will address Luna Ilara with respect," he says, his voice a low growl. He calls her Luna. His Luna. The word is a physical blow. Ilara places a calming hand on Liam's arm. "It's all right, Liam." She turns her cool gaze on Marcus, and then finally, on me. "Your alpha authority is weakened, broken. Your commands will not hold the line for long. The Shadow Weaver will exploit that. It will turn your own warriors against you." "And you are the solution?" I ask, my voice rougher than I intend. "You, who were once a servant in this house." The words are out before I can stop them, petty and cruel, born of the gaping wound in my pride. The hurt that flashes in her eyes is so swift I almost miss it. But it's there, and it guts me. I have done it again. I have wounded her again. The cold mask slams back into place instantly. "I am the only one whose power is a direct counter to theirs," she says, her voice like ice. "I am not here to ask for your permission. I am here to end this threat. You will follow my strategy, or you will stand aside and watch your pack be annihilated. The choice is yours, Alpha." She uses my title like an insult. The power dynamic in the room has irrevocably shifted. I am the alpha of the largest pack in the region. Yet in this tent, her authority is absolute. My warriors look from me to her, their loyalty wavering, drawn to her strength, her certainty. I have no choice. To defy her is to doom my people. We will listen, I say, the words tasting like ash in my mouth. The days that follow are a special kind of hell. We are forced to work together, planning the defense, training the warriors. Ilara moves with a grace and confidence that is breathtaking. She is a natural leader. She anticipates the Umbra's movements, her connection to the land giving her insights we could never have. She is patient with my warriors, teaching them how to shield their minds from the Weaver's insidious whispers. She treats them with a respect I am beginning to realize I never truly showed them. She is everything a Luna should be, everything I threw away. The proximity is torture. Her scent, that intoxicating blend of storm and magic, is a constant presence wrapping around me, reminding me of what I have lost. The bond between us is a live wire, humming with a painful, desperate energy. Sometimes, when we are standing close, I can feel the echo of her emotions. Her frustration, her focus, her deep, bone-wearying grief, and beneath it all, a flicker of the same agonizing pull that plagues me. She feels it too. I know she does. But she has encased her heart in ice, and I have no one to blame but myself. Liam is her shadow, always there, a bastion of quiet support. He brings her water. He spars with her, their movements a dance of equals. He makes her smile, a small, sad curve of her lips that I have never been able to draw from her. The sight of them together is a dagger twisting in my gut. My wolf is a caged, frantic beast, pacing the confines of my soul. Kill him. Take what is mine. I know I am losing her, not just as a mate, but as a person. She is building a life without me, a life with him, a life where she is respected and cherished, a life she deserves. The realization is the final crack in the dam of my pride. Desperation, cold and absolute, begins to flood in. One evening, I see them walking by the river, the moonlight silvering her hair. Liam stops and gently brushes a stray strand from her face. The gesture is so tender, so full of affection, it breaks something inside me. I can't watch anymore. I turn away, the image burned into my mind. Later that night, Liam seeks her out. I am nearby, hidden in the shadows, unable to stay away. Ilara, he begins, his voice gentle. I came here to help you fight this battle, and I would follow you into any battle that is to come. He pauses, and his next words are quieter. But I will not fight for a heart that is not freely given. She looks at him, her expression unreadable. Liam? I see the way you look at him, he says, and I know he means me. And I see the way he looks at you. There is a wound there, a deep one. But the thread of your fates is not broken, merely tangled. I cannot be the one to untangle it, and I will not be a placeholder while you wait for it to heal. You are not a placeholder, she whispers, and for the first time, I hear the conflict in her voice. I know, he says with a sad smile, but I also know I cannot compete with a fated bond, no matter how damaged it is. My path lies elsewhere. Your path is one you must walk alone, for now. He leans in and presses a chaste kiss to her forehead. Be safe, Ilara, and be happy. You deserve that much. With a final respectful nod, he turns and walks away, leaving her standing alone by the river. He is a better man than I am. He is willing to let her go for her own happiness. I was only willing to let her go for my own pride. The shame of it is a physical weight. Liam and his warriors are gone by morning. His departure does not bring me relief, only a sharper, more profound sense of my own unworthiness. He has left the door open for me, but I know I cannot just walk through it. I have to burn down the man I was and build a new one on the ashes, one who might, just might, be worthy of standing in her light. The final battle is hours away. The air is heavy with the coming storm, both literal and metaphorical. The Umbra are gathering in force just beyond the valley. We have a plan, a strategy devised by Alara, but it is risky. It requires a lure. It requires her. I find her sharpening a silver dagger near the edge of the camp, away from the others. The time for pride is over. The time for excuses is long past. There is only truth left. I walk towards her, my heart a leaden drum in my chest. This is my only chance. Not to win her back, but to tell her the truth, to give her the apology I should have given her a year ago. She hears me approach and her body tenses, but she doesn't look up. Alara, I say, my voice raspy. She continues to draw the whetstone along the blade. The battle is soon, Alpha. You should be with your warriors. They know what to do, I reply, stopping a few feet from her. It's you I need to speak with. I take a shaky breath. This is it. I was a fool. That gets her attention. She stops sharpening the dagger and slowly raises her head, her silver blue eyes wary, guarded. I was a coward, I continue, the words pouring out of me now. A confession I have held in for too long. I stood before my pack, my mate before me, the greatest gift the goddess could ever grant, and I spat in her face. I let the whispers of lesser men and the weakness in my own heart rule me. I was so afraid of looking weak that I committed the weakest act a man can perform. I look at her, my soul bared. I broke the most sacred bond in our existence for pride, for politics, and not a day has gone by that I have not paid the price for it. My wolf has tormented me. My soul has been empty. This pack, this land has been dying because of me. All this suffering, it all started with me, with my arrogance. Her expression remains frozen, but I see a flicker of something in the depths of her eyes. Pain, the echo of her own suffering. I am not telling you this to gain your pity, I say quickly, desperate for her to understand. I am telling you because you deserve the truth. You deserved a mate who would have shouted your worth from the mountaintops, not whispered your flaws in the shadows. You deserved a man who would have gotten on his knees in gratitude, not turned his back in shame. My own words choke me. I drop to one knee in the damp earth before her, then the other. I kneel at her feet, the mighty Alpha of Blackwood, brought low by his own monstrous failure. I bow my head, baring the back of my neck to her, the ultimate act of submission. I am not that man, Ilara, but I want to be. I am trying to be. My voice breaks. I don't ask for your forgiveness. I know I have not earned it. I don't ask you to choose me. I only ask that you know I see you now. I see all of you. Your strength, your courage, your light. You are the greatest Luna this world has ever known, and I threw you away like you were nothing. From my belt, I pull my own silver dagger, the twin to the one she holds. I hold it out to her. Hilt first. My life is yours. It has been from the moment I first saw you. If my death will atone for even a fraction of the pain I caused you, then take it. It is the only thing I have left to give. But if we survive this, if you choose to let me live, know that I will spend the rest of my days, however many you grant me, trying to be worthy of breathing the same air as you. I close my eyes, submitting completely to her will, her judgment. The silence stretches. filled only by the sound of the wind and the pounding of my own heart. I feel her take the dagger from my hand. I brace myself for the cold bite of steel. This is my penance. This is justice. The battle is a chaotic symphony of light and shadow. Ilara is at the center of it all, a blazing star holding back the night. I fight near her, not as her alpha, but as her guard. My only purpose is to keep the Lesser Umbra from reaching her, while she focuses her power on the swirling vortex of darkness that is the Shadow Weaver. My warriors fight with a renewed purpose. Seeing their alpha kneel, seeing Ilara's raw power, has galvanized them. They form a protective circle around us, a wall of fang and claw against the tide. The Shadow Weaver is powerful. It learns, it adapts, it lashes out with tendrils of pure void, and Ilara counters with shields of pure light. The ground trembles with the force of their duel, but I can see it's taking a toll on her. Her light, while brilliant, is finite. A fine sheen of sweat covers her brow, and her movements are becoming slower. The weaver senses her fatigue. It gathers its power, the shadows around it condensing into a single spear-like point of utter blackness. It smells of oblivion. It hurtles through the air, too fast for a shield, aimed directly at Ilara's heart. There is no thought. There is no decision. There is only instinct. Mate. Protect. My body moves on its own. I throw myself in front of her, a desperate, clumsy shield of flesh and bone. The spear of darkness hits me squarely in the chest. The pain is absolute, a void that doesn't burn or cut but simply unmakes. It is a cold that devours the light, the life, the very spirit. It is the same cursed magic she took from my grandmother, but 100 times more potent. I am thrown backwards, landing in a heap at Ilara's feet. My vision blurs, the edges turning gray. I look up at her, my mate, my Luna. Her face is a mask of horror, her beautiful eyes wide with shock and a dawning terrible anguish. Damon! Her scream is not the cry of a warrior queen. It is the sound of a woman watching her other half die. The agony in her voice is the last, sweetest thing I hear as the darkness consumes me. Seeing him fall, seeing that spear of absolute nothingness pierce his chest, shatters the ice around my heart. The careful walls I built, the cold fury I nurtured, it all crumbles to dust in an instant. A raw, primal scream is torn from my throat, a sound of pure agony that is not just mine, but my wolf's. Mate, she howls in my soul, a sound of utter devastation. He took the blow for me. The man who rejected me, who broke me, just gave his life to save mine. His sacrifice is a mirror of my own, the act that awakened my power. But his is the final proof. The proof that the arrogant alpha who cast me out is truly gone, replaced by the man who just threw himself in front of death for me. The Shadow Weaver lets out a triumphant shriek, sensing its victory. But its victory is my breaking point. The grief, the rage, the year of pain, and the sudden, shocking realization that I love him. It all coalesces inside me. The power I have been wielding, the light I have been calling, is nothing compared to what rises in me now. I drop to my knees beside him, my hands hovering over the horrifying, shadow-eaten wound in his chest. His breathing is a shallow, ragged whisper. His scent, that beloved scent of pine and frost, is fading, being consumed by the cloying emptiness of the curse. Heal, protect, claim. My wolf's voice is a desperate command, a prayer. I know what I have to do. The bond is shattered, but the pieces are still there. It can be reforged. but it requires a choice, a conscious, willing acceptance from both sides. He has made his choice with his life. Now I must make mine. There is no hesitation. There is no doubt. There is only him. I press my palm flat against his chest, directly over the wound. I pour my own life force into him, my own light, my own magic. It is a torrent, a flood of everything I am. The silver markings on my skin blaze with an almost unbearable intensity. I, Ilara, of the first blood, I say, my voice ringing with an ancient power I did not know I possessed. Accept you, Daemon of Blackwood, as my mate, my alpha, my other half. The moment the words leave my lips, the world explodes. The fragmented pieces of our bond do not just connect. They fuse together in a blinding supernova of light and power. It is not a gentle healing. It is a violent, glorious collision of two souls becoming one. The pain of the last year vanishes, replaced by a feeling of wholeness so profound, it brings tears to my eyes. I feel his soul lock with mine, his strength becoming my strength, his wolf greeting mine, not as a stranger, but as a long-lost brother. The combined power of a completed lunar bond, a bond not seen in a millennium, erupts from us. A wave of pure silver energy washes over the battlefield. It does not harm the wolves. It strengthens them, heals them, fills them with courage. But when it hits the Umbra, it is annihilation. They dissolve into dust, their dying screams silenced by the overwhelming purity of the light. The Shadow Weaver, caught at the epicenter of the blast, turns its full attention to us. It rears back, its form wavering under the onslaught. But it is not defeated. Damon's eyes flutter open. They are no longer just whiskey brown. They are shot through with the same silver light that marks my skin. He looks at me, and I see no pain, no arrogance, only a love so deep and absolute it takes my breath away. He places his hand over mine on his chest. The wound beneath our palms is closing, the darkness being burned away by our shared light. Alara, he breathes, and my name is a prayer. We don't need to speak. Our minds, our souls, are connected now. We know what to do. We rise as one, two halves of a single entity. I am the light of the moon. He is the strength of the earth. I am the storm. He is the mountain that withstands it. We raise our joined hands. Our voices merge, speaking ancient words that flow from the very core of our shared being. We are not just an alpha and a luna. We are a nexus of primal power. We gather the energy of the pack, the land, the sky, and we forge it into a single, concentrated beam of incandescent light. It strikes the Shadow Weaver. The creature lets out one final, soul-tearing shriek as the light consumes it, unmaking it until there is nothing left but fading motes of dust and the clean scent of rain-washed air. Silence descends on the valley. The battle is over. The Umbra are gone. We stand in the center of the clearing, our hands still clasped, the light around us slowly fading. The warriors of Blackwood and Sunstone stare at us, their expressions a mixture of awe and reverence. Damon turns to me, his hands coming up to cup my face. His touch is gentle, worshipful. "I am so sorry," he whispers, his voice thick with emotion. A single tear traces a path through the grime on his cheek. I reach up and wipe it away. "The man I need to forgive is gone," I say softly, my voice steady. "He died when he stood in front of that blade." He leans his forehead against mine, our scents mingling completely now. Pine, frost, storm, and moonlight. A perfect, harmonious whole. "I will spend my life earning this," he vows. "Earning you. We will earn it together," I correct him. In the months that follow, Blackwood heals. Under our combined leadership, the pack thrives as never before. The land grows green and vibrant again. The hunts are plentiful. The pups are strong. We rule not as an alpha and his subordinate Luna, but as true equals. My counsel is sought, my authority respected. His strength is tempered by a newfound humility, a quiet wisdom, born of immense suffering and profound gratitude. One evening, 6 months after the battle, we stand on the balcony of the Alpha's den, overlooking the pack house. A silver scar marks the skin of my chest, a faint, beautiful reminder of the choice I made in a canyon. A darker, shadow-kissed scar rests over his heart, a testament to his sacrifice. They are not marks of shame, but symbols of our journey, scars that prove we were broken, but that we healed stronger. Damon wraps his arms around me from behind, resting his chin on my shoulder. His presence is a comforting weight, the steady thrum of his heart against my back, a constant reassurance. The bond between us is a calm, deep river, a source of immense peace and unshakable strength. I still can't believe you saved my grandmother, he murmurs into my hair, his voice filled with a lingering sense of wonder. I smile, leaning back against him. Morwen says the fates have a strange way of weaving their tapestries. Sometimes they use the most tangled threads to create the strongest cloth. He turns me in his arms, his gaze tender. Our thread was nearly severed, but it held, I finish for him, placing my hand over his heart, over his scar. And now, nothing in this world can break it. My wolf, my glorious, powerful wolf, purrs in contentment, her head resting against the flank of his. Ours, she hums, the word no longer a cry of possession, but a quiet statement of fact. Home. He lowers his head and kisses me, a kiss that holds all the pain of our past, the joy of our present, and the infinite promise of our future. It is a kiss of equals, of survivors, of two souls who went through hell and found their heaven in each other. We are scarred, yes, but we are whole, and we are home.